You ever wonder which rifles actually earn the word legendary when the target is nothing but a tiny hole in paper or a single hit at extreme range? Welcome to Scoper 360, where we put reputation to the test and separate hype from hardware. In this review, I'm taking you through 7 rifles known for insane accuracy. Rifles that show up on range reports, in military loadouts, and on the wish lists of serious long-range shooters. I'll give you clean, no-nonsense breakdowns of what each rifle is engineered to do, objective specs that matter for accuracy, and my own hands-on impressions after putting rounds downrange. Prices and practical pros and cons will be included so you know what you're really buying, not just what a spec sheet promises. If you care about consistency, repeatability, and real performance under pressure, you'll want to hear how these 7 stack up. Let's start with the first rifle, FN SCAR 20S. The SCAR 20S is the kind of rifle that arrives with expectations and then quietly exceeds them. Objectively, it's a full-size 7.62 NATO precision platform built from a lineage that started with the Mk20 SSR used by Special Operations units. The parts that matter for accuracy are all there. A 20-inch cold hammer forged barrel with a heavier contour and chrome lining to resist throat wear and heat. A rigid monolithic upper that eliminates rail flex. A 6-screw barrel attachment for true repeatability. And an adjustable gas block that lets you tune the rifle for suppressed and unsuppressed shooting without losing your zero. Out of box, the trigger is a clean 2-stage design that breaks predictably, and the stock offers full comb and length of pull adjustment so you can get a repeatable cheek weld even with bulky cold weather clothing. Expect the rifle to weigh a touch over 11 pounds with a typical optic and bipod, and expect the price to land in the neighborhood of $4,000, $4,800 depending on configuration and dealer. Subjectively, the SCAR 20S feels like a purpose-built tool rather than a parts kit jury rigged into precision. On the range, it stays put. After long strings, there's no wandering point of impact, and the barrel manages heat in a way that keeps groups tight well into sustained fire. The monolithic upper makes mounting optics and thermal or clip-on devices straightforward. Alignment stays true, and there's none of the shimmy you sometimes get on lighter 2-piece platforms. Running suppressed is smoother than I expected. The adjustable gas system makes the switch quick, and the rifle remains controllable. The trade-offs are weight and price. It's not a rifle you'll happily carry for miles, and it isn't cheap. But for Overwatch, precision duty, or someone who wants a factory rifle engineered with combat-grade durability, it delivers exactly what it promises. Next, we'll move on to a bolt-action classic that helped define precision for decades. Steyr SSG 69. The Steyr SSG 69 is a bolt-action rifle that quietly reshaped expectations for factory-built precision. Objectively, it features a rear locking bolt with 6 lugs, a deeply bedded receiver that increases rigidity, a 25.6-inch cold hammer forged barrel designed to manage heat and preserve consistent velocities, and a stock made from glass-reinforced polymer that keeps weight down while remaining surprisingly rigid. In the 7.62 NATO .308 configuration, it pairs particularly well with match-grade 168-175 grain loads, and feeding comes from a rotary 5-round magazine, with the option to fit higher-capacity straight magazines in many examples. Weight sits around the mid-8-pound range depending on configuration, and the SSG 969S build emphasizes repeatable lockup and a smooth, positive action over flashy features. Subjectively, shooting the SSG 69 feels like using a tool made by people who obsess about function. The bolt tracks cleanly, the rifle holds zero through long days of firing, and the ergonomics, from the effective stippling on the grip and forend to the stable cheek weld, let you get back on target with minimal fuss. It doesn't show off. It just consistently delivers small groups and predictable performance, which is exactly why collectors and precision shooters still seek clean examples even though Steyr stopped production years ago. Expect to pay a premium on the used market depending on condition, with well-kept rifles often trading hands for prices that vary widely rather than a fixed street MSRP. Barrett MRAD. The Barrett MRAD is a modern, purpose-built precision platform whose core design goal is modularity and repeatable accuracy. Objectively, it features a chassis-style aluminum upper, a quick change barrel system with factory-matched extensions, a smooth, robust bolt and bolt face change system for rapid caliber swaps, and a fully adjustable folding stock that locks solid for transport and deployment. Depending on configuration, you'll see it chambered in everything from 6.5 Creedmoor up to .300 PRC and .338 Lapua variants. The barrel and bolt interface are factory matched to preserve headspace and keep groups tight after swaps. And the action rides in a rigid bedding system that keeps point of impact consistent across long strings. The MRADs. Ergonomics are class-leading for a factory rifle. User-adjustable trigger packs, tool-less cheek and length of pull adjustments, and a rail that accepts big optics and night vision thermal clip-ons without shifting zero. Expect a full kit with optic and bipod to push the system's weight well into the teens. As baseline, most MRAD builds sit around 12–16 pounds loaded, and prices vary with caliber and options, but commonly range from roughly $4,000 to $8,000 depending on factory configuration and aftermarket additions. Subjectively, shooting the MRAD feels like operating a well-engineered instrument rather than fiddling with a do-it-yourself project. The bolt glides with a confidence that stays even after exposure to dust and field conditions, and the quick change barrel system really works. Swapping between calibers and returning to the same poi is something many other modular rifles promise, but don't reliably deliver. In my experience, the MRAD holds sub-MOA with quality match ammo across a variety of loads, and it shines when you need a single platform to cover multiple mission sets without sacrificing accuracy. The trade-offs are obvious. It's heavy once you kit it out. The price is not trivial, and for shooters who never need caliber flexibility, a lighter, simpler custom bolt gun can beat it on pure weight to accuracy. For teams or individuals who want one rifle that can legitimately cover many long-range roles with proven repeatability, the MRAD is hard to beat. Next, we'll cover a factory bolt gun that redefined value in the precision market, the Ruger Precision Rifle. Ruger Precision Rifle. The Ruger Precision Rifle shook up the market by proving that factory rifles could deliver near custom accuracy without the custom price tag. Objectively, it features a 24-inch cold hammer forged barrel with 5R rifling and a 1/8 twist in common 6.5 Creedmoor variants, a free-footed handguard many newer models use, MOLK, SR25 pattern magazine compatibility, and the Ruger Marksman adjustable trigger, which breaks clean and is user-tunable. The folding, adjustable stock provides tool-less adjustments for comb height and length of pull and folds for compact storage. The barrel is commonly threaded for brakes or suppressors, and the overall ergonomics borrow familiar AR-style controls that make the rifle intuitive for shooters transitioning from other platforms. Weight and configuration vary by model and build, but expect a sensible balance between portability and stability that puts this rifle squarely in the practical precision category. Street prices for new models typically range from roughly $1,000 to $1,600 depending on barrel length, finish, and included options. Subjectively, the Ruger Precision Rifle feels like an honest bargain for anyone stepping into long-range shooting. Out of the box, it will coax tight groups from quality match ammunition. The adjustable features let you quickly find a comfortable, repeatable position, and the trigger, when dialed in, gives a crisp, consistent break that helps shooters produce good vertical and horizontal strings. It is not without quirks. Early bolts can feel a touch gritty until broken in, and magazine seating requires the usual attention that comes with pattern-compatible mags. That said, for the price and the factory-level accuracy you can expect, it forced the industry to rethink what a production rifle should offer. It remains one of the best value propositions for precision shooters who want to grow into the sport without immediately buying a custom build. Next up is a surprisingly refined performer that brings out-of-the-box match results without demanding a custom gunsmith. The Tikka T3x TAC A1. Tikka T3x TAC A1. The Tikka T3x TAC A1 is the kind of rifle that quietly redefines expectations for out-of-the-box match performance at a sensible price point. Objectively, the TAC A1 pairs Tikka's smooth T3X action with a full-length aluminum chassis, a 24-inch cold hammer forged barrel with a 1/8 twist in 6.5 Creedmoor models, and a deep receiver thread that gives additional barrel to receiver contact for rigidity. The monolithic chassis houses the action, trigger, and magazine well in a single rigid structure. The handguard offers ample MLK real estate for accessories, and the folding, fully adjustable stock lets you compact the rifle for transport while preserving a repeatable cheek weld and length of pull. The bolt uses a two-lug design with about a 70-degree throw, and the two-stage trigger breaks cleanly and can be tuned to suit shooter preference. Magazine design is proprietary but reliable, and overall weight and balance favor sustained accuracy without feeling unwieldy in a static precision roll. MSRP historically sits in the neighborhood of $1,500, $2,000 depending on market and options, which places it well below most bespoke chassis rifles, while still delivering many of the same features. Subjectively, the TAC A1 feels like a rifle built by people who prioritized repeatability and durability over flash. On the range, it frequently produced sub-MOA groups with good match ammo, and the rigid chassis noticeably reduced the point of impact shift you sometimes see on barrel-heavy setups when clamping a bipod or changing supports. The folding stock locks up solid with no detectable play, and the extra receiver thread depth gives the rifle a planted, confident feel when you settle in for precision strings. The trigger is excellent for a factory two-stage unit, and the bolt runs smoother than many comparable mass-market actions. The trade-offs are mostly about weight and modularity. It's not the lightest option for humping long distances, and the proprietary magazine ecosystem means you won't swap mags as freely as with SR25 pattern systems. For shooters who want near-match performance from a factory rifle without the cost and fuss of a custom build, the Tikka T3x TAC A1 is a compelling choice. Next, I'll cover the Sako TRG 22A1, a high-end rifle that aims to deliver finished, competition-grade accuracy straight from the factory. The Sako TRG 22A1 is a rifle that wears its engineering on its sleeve. Objectively, it pairs a precision-engineered action with a 26-inch cold hammer forged barrel and a manufacturing process that emphasizes alignment and bore life. And in the 6.5 Creedmoor configuration, you get a twist rate and chambering that play extremely well with heavier match projectiles. The action cycles on a smooth 3-lug bolt that locks up with tight, repeatable tolerances. The oversized bolt knob rides on glass-smooth rails, and feeding is handled by a flush-fitting proprietary 10-round box magazine designed to work without drama. The aluminum chassis is finished to a high standard and often ships in Cerakote colors. It includes MLK slots on the forend and a full-length 30 MOA top rail for long-range optics. The folding stock adjusts for comb height and length of pull with tool-less precision and locks up solid for transport, and the two-stage trigger can be tuned down to about 1.52 pounds for match-level brakes. Expect a premium price MSRP for well-equipped TRG. 22A1 examples sits in the neighborhood of $5. $6,000 depending on options and market. Subjectively, the TRG 22A1 feels like a surgical instrument in your hands. It doesn't flirt with flashy gimmicks, it just returns the same tiny, boring groups over and over when fed quality ammunition. The bolt glides with a confidence that makes rapid follow-up shots predictable. The chassis dampens recoil and holds zero even after prolonged firing, and the trigger, when set light, lets you find single-hole groups without fighting a creepy take-up or unpredictable wall. In rough field conditions, it remained reliable and precise, which is exactly what you want from a rifle positioned between elite custom builds and true combat-grade hardware. The downside is straightforward: you pay for that engineering in dollars. And the proprietary magazine system means a little less interchangeability than some pattern magazine platforms. Overall, if you want factory-finished, competition-capable accuracy without immediate aftermarket surgery, the TRG 22A1 is one of the few production rifles that truly earns that billing. Next, I will cover the Accuracy International AXMC. Accuracy International AXMC. The Accuracy International AXMC is the kind of rifle that reads like a specification sheet written by people who have never been satisfied with good enough. Objectively, the AXMC pairs a monolithic billet machine chassis with a quick change barrel system that uses large diameter threads and a positive locking system, a 6-lug bolt with a short 60 degrees throw and fluting to shed debris, and an overall build quality that prioritizes repeatable headspace and rock-solid bedding. Barrels are cut-rifled and typically offered in lengths optimized for Magnum cartridges, in .338 Lapua, and other Magnum configurations. The AXMC is built to withstand the pressures and thermal abuse those rounds impose while still returning match-grade groups. Firing is handled by Accuracy International's reliable double-stack magazines. The folding stock adjusts for comb height, length of pull, and recoil pad position without tools, and the chassis accepts a full-length top rail, giving you plenty of real estate for big optics, thermal clip-ons, and ancillary kit. Expect a heavy, confidence-inspiring package once scoped and configured. Street prices for a fully optioned AXMC commonly sit in the $12,000 range, depending on caliber, barrel choice, and accessories. Subjectively, shooting the AXMC feels like operating a professional tool you can trust in the worst conditions. Recoil management, chassis stability, and bolt feel all combine to make follow-up shots predictable and repeatable. And the rifle returns extremely consistent groups with quality match ammo even after long strings. The quick change barrel system actually works in practice, allowing caliber swaps without losing the rifle's point of impact, which is invaluable for units or shooters who need one platform to cover multiple roles. The trade-offs are weight and cost. This is neither a light mountain rifle nor a budget buy, but if your priority is absolute reliability and consistent long-range performance in adverse conditions, the AXMC is one of the few production rifles that truly lives up to that promise.